So this weekend, big weekend for me, I will be making my long-awaited return to Evolve, a company that I haven't wrestled for in about 6 years, over 6 years actually. So I think today for Daily DJZ, I'm just gonna kind of talk about what it means to me to be wrestling at Evolve once again after all this time. I'm a little strapped for time, obviously. I've got a weekend of traveling to do, so I can't go make some crazy original content. I'm just gonna talk to the camera today. To wrestle for Evolve once again is kind of cool, kind of surreal. It just makes me think back to where I was in my career and in my life the first time that I wrestled at Evolve.
Because this company, Evolve, it's going to revolve around Shima, Zion.
I remember Evolve was originally meant to be my first big break on the independents. I debuted at Evolve 7 in New York City. I won. I beat Jimmy Jacobs in my debut match, opened to the show, the first ever iPay-per-view for WWNlive.com, and we had some steam going into that match. I felt really hungry, really motivated, and determined to show that I belonged in Evolve. And I'm often asked why I was never a bigger deal on the independent scene, or why it's taken this long for me to carve out some niche and get some momentum as an independent wrestling star. I often look back to that Evolve event, Evolve 7, because that was supposed to be the start of my indie career. It never quite took off because 3 months after my Evolve debut, I signed a contract with TNA Impact Wrestling. So while all the other up-and-coming independent wrestlers at the time, like Johnny Gargano, Sami Callihan, Ricochet, Chuck Taylor, while all of us were just getting our careers started, those guys all went the Evolve route, the PWG route, the independent route, whereas I took a hard left and went the TNA route. And I was the only one out of that group of up-and-comers that went the TNA route. So I think that's why I wasn't some big deal on the independent scene like those guys were, because while they were making their names for themselves all over the place with these epic matches, I was making my name for myself on national television every week, wrestling with Rob Van Dam, Austin Aries, a who's who of professional wrestling. And I wouldn't trade those experiences for the world, because I learned so much from all of those vets at the time when I was real young, and I think it gave me a different approach to wrestling. I don't think like the typical independent wrestler does. I don't wrestle the way a typical independent wrestler does. One thing you can say about DJZ, none of my matches look like anyone else's matches, and I really take a lot of pride in that. So don't miss it. Evolve 92 in Detroit, Evolve 93 in Chicago, the return of DJZ. Check it out on WWNlive.com. Ba-ba-ba-ba!